Hi everyone, thanks for checking out my channel, and finally for tonight I'm going to have a look at the crypto market, mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum, as we had of course some interesting development last week. I was expecting a nice entry point a little bit lower, as I was looking for a clear up on that major divergence we had. Since we broke the key 10k level, we got that divergence developing here up to the 12k. That wasn't really interesting to buying at that level. It was just too risky waiting for that clearance of the divergence. So looking at 11k as a target, we got through this very sharply, retesting the 10,000k, and so far holding that area quite nicely. So I did open a long position on Bitcoin on that 4 hours divergence that did occur over the weekend. We actually had the first sign did actually confirm on yesterday, and now I'll be looking at continuation and potential accumulation inside that range. Could see a potential push down to 9,400. That would be the other support area here. We have a bit of room to actually go back down easily to 900, but then I'm expecting to clear up the divergence and move back up at least to 10,700 in the short term, and potentially revisit 11k. Longer term, we are still inside that very large bullish pattern, 3 years long cup and handle here, that we are still having an objective above 20k, but we need to consolidate a bit further and to break convincingly the 12k until we can attack the 13k, and then we'll have the major breakthrough that I was expecting for quite some time now. That could happen still this year, potentially October, pushing up to November. That will basically depend how we consolidate here. There's also one scenario that could see a major drop to the 6,000k figure. That's the trend line we had between major lows recently. Not my favorite scenario, not because I'm wrong, but because it doesn't actually work with that figure. It would invalidate pretty much everything. But of course, this is also possible, so you always need to keep in mind that the drawdown we can have on this could be that strong, so that's not insignificant. From 10k sorry, down to 6k, that's a 40% down drawdown. So you need to be able to basically emotionally live with that kind of drawdown. So not possible. It's probably best to set up stop loss here or edge a way or another. So I'm expecting from here, so that's something we need to have a look later should that actually happen. But from here, expecting some more consolidation, potentially visiting a little bit lower in the coming days. Should we see some more pressure on the stock market? But eventually we're going back up here, retest 12k, potentially drop down to the 10k, and eventually having that breakout happening here for that move to the upside to happen potentially November or later this year. We're looking at Ethereum as well. Made a couple of mistakes on that one with a long entry. I did anticipate on that 1 hour divergence and did open long here, so that was of course way too earlier. Looking at Bitcoin at that time, we had quite some good divergence. The 4 hours already in place or looking strong around the 5th, and that was the reason why when we dropped to that level, anticipating a little bit the 4 hours divergence, I saw that was it for Ethereum as well. Didn't happen that way, and got invalidated and further drop to the 300 level. That was almost expected because of the divergence we have on Ethereum. That's a bit pushing further here, so it was not really unexpected to actually drop lower. That was a bit my mistake, anticipating that, but thankfully I didn't load up my entire position on that move, and I kept some more here on that move to the downside. So looking at the 1 hour again, with a very nice divergence happening again on a better level. So I did open long here, and I'm expecting similar to Bitcoin to see some more accumulation to the downside. So 400 will be the target to clear up the divergence. Then we could see some further move to the downside, either bouncing back to 340 until we actually get back up here. configuration is a little bit different than the Bitcoin. We don't have that large cup and handle figure here because we did actually break already that kind of accumulation phase we had here, and we are now inside a very key level above previous 365, but that large area is actually the range we can trade. The price could still push lower to the trend line. Cannot exclude another visit to the 300 level, but the drawdown is somehow acceptable. We're talking about 20% from my entry level, so I'm comfortable with that, and we'll definitely hold that position should that actually happen. So yeah, that's all about the crypto as well. Hopefully found that useful. Wish you safe trading, and I speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.